If it's in Hampton Roads, it's on the Hampton Roads Show.
Welcome to the Hampton Roads Show. It is a happy Friday. We got live music and so much going on in the kitchen today. Chef Eric Thornberger from Atlantic Shores. He's here. He's going to make some tasty snacks for you to serve at the big game next weekend. Chicken taquitos, guacamole, mozzarella sticks, and fresh basil pesto.
Yum, and if you're still working on mastering those New Year's resolutions, well, we went looking for some and tried for true advice, and in a new feature we're calling Wisdom for the Ages, we will give you the scoop. Plus, WAVY's own nightly newsman Tom Shad takes us to the nation's newest national monument for his regular Hampton Roads Show feature. Through the lens, this time we go to Fort Monroe.
And it's Friday, and that means live music today. Kevin Kelly is here to get the weekend started off right. And we just heard Kevin just a few moments ago, and he has got some sweet sounds.
Yes, so look forward to hearing from him. Of course, you know, Carrie, she is enjoying some time off from us this morning. I'm keeping her seat warm, but we're happy to be with you, of course, to get the weekend started. But before we get into anything, I have a very special shout-out this morning to one of my girlfriends. Her name is Ashley Ursua. There's she and I from this summer. She's deploying out Monday morning. She's headed to South Korea for 6 months. She's in the Navy, and this is her second deployment. So I just wanted to wish her well. We're going to miss her. We're going to hang out this weekend, a bunch of us girlfriends. So I just told her I'd give her a shout out on the morning show. So there she is.
Well, how's she feeling about it? I know it's not her first.
No, it's not her first. She's excited about going to South Korea. She also has a 3-year-old son, and so she's a little sad to leave him.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, the communication and with Skype and email is just, it's like they never left. So.
Well, but still, 6 months without your child.
Definitely keeping her in our prayers, and just want to wish her well. So Ashley, farewell.
Yeah, good luck in South Korea, and good luck with that. And you know, that brings us to our first hot topic this morning. Of course, the military is so huge here around Hampton Roads, and yesterday, Defense Secretary Leon Panetta announced big budget cuts are coming. We kind of knew this was coming. We've heard some of it, but the number is pretty staggering. It is $467 billion over the next 15 to actually 10 years.
Wow.
And of course, that is going to affect many of the military in this area, especially retirees, when you cut that much money. And we've heard about the Base Realignment and Enclosure Commission, which called BRAC in 2005. There was a lot of talk that they might shut down Oceana. Well, they're saying that they're a little bit better off now, and that might not happen. But with $467 billion to be cut from the budget, some things are going to change, especially in this area. So they're saying that most of it will shift on the West Coast to get closer to the Asian corridor. And a lot of these cuts are going to affect the retirees in this area as well.
Yeah, and also folks who, you know, families who are in the military. You know, you never really, usually when you take up a career in the military, I know my dad is retired military, and Carrie talks about it all the time, that's kind of your plan A. So now a lot of families, when you have news like this coming out, are probably having to start thinking about their plan B, which, you know, savings, retirement, what are we going to do? And even people trying to get into the military in the future might not be so easy as it once was.
Many of those who are already in, who are getting the benefits now, especially for medical care, they're going to be grandfathered in. But the future generations of the military, those are the ones who are going to suffer the most. But they do say retirees' costs will go up. So.
Unfortunate. Yeah, well, it's kind of one of those we have to just wait and see, and over a little span of time, I'm sure we're going to start to hear more, get more details.
Yep, it's going to happen.
So let us know your thoughts on that one. Of course, this is a big military town, so
budget cuts
definitely going to affect folks here. You know, hate is a strong word. You know, a lot of people
don't like that word.
They say, I hate this, I hate that. Some people may hate those budget cuts. But this is our next hot topic. So Lori Gerber, she's president of Handel Group. She's a life coach. And when you think of life coaching, you think about things that you're trying to do and get into. She says gravitate toward the things that you hate, and you may in turn realize that you love it. So for her, she says, here's some things that I used to hate. Carrots, exercise that required sweating, my brother, listening to my parents, getting dressed up, stop working at a set time, salad, taking risks, being scared, celery, honest conversations, and failing. So she said those were the things that she hated. She tried them out, and sure enough, she came to find out that she actually liked a lot of those things. She started to like vegetables. She started to like dressing up and taking time out for herself. And what's funny, we were talking about this, Tracy Page, you all know, our Face of Fox, he had an issue with salad. He did not like salad. And for the longest, I would try to figure out, like, well, Tracy, why don't you like salad? Well, he went to the Teens with a Purpose luncheon with Al Roker, and guess what they served?
Salad.
Salad. And he ended up eating it, and he was like, oh, you know, it was actually pretty good. He's like, there was this kind of cheese on there. And
he went out on
so
a limb and tried a salad, and he liked it.
See, Tracy, it's not that bad. So are there some things that you hate? Well, hate. She says hate. You just really are like, I'm not going to do, but would you try it and think it might change your mind?
First of all, I do hate the word hate. I don't like hearing it.
Hate.
And I make sure that my kids don't say it. But I kind of relay that to my kids. And right now, it's kind of funny, 12 and 13-year-olds, things that they do not like. It's kind of funny because most people know this. If you have a boy in middle school, first of all, they don't like to wear pants to school. So.
What do they like to wear?
Well, they wear shorts.
Oh, okay.
They wear shorts all year round for some reason.
Yeah.
And my oldest son, we had to buy him some jeans recently, and he's, Dad, I hate jeans.
Really?
I said, kid, you have no idea. That's all you're going to wear when you get to high school and college. That's all you're going to wear are jeans, so get used to it. As far as foods, same thing. As a child, I disliked spinach. We had it last night, and I've been forcing myself to eat it, and cream spinach, it just didn't work for me.
I love spinach.
I used to hate winter. But now I sort of gravitate to it just because.
I would say I really don't like being scared in scary movies. So I guess I just need to go watch some scary movies.
I don't know.
Maybe
Face your
like
fears.
it. I don't know, yeah. And I don't like aliens.
Yes.
Hopefully I don't come into contact with any of them anytime soon. But our next hot topic, how many of you like to watch Wheel of Fortune? Raise your hand. Well, of course you know Pat Sajak, longtime host, and Vanna White. Well, guess what they used to do back in the day, Chris?
Geez, I wonder.
They would go have drinks in between tapings. He says...
The liquid lunch?
Sajak said in an interview on ESPN2 this week that the longtime game show team would occasionally walk over to a restaurant, get this, for 2 or 3 or 6 margaritas during a break taping during Wheel of Fortune in California. He's hosted the show since 1981. Now, he doesn't do it anymore. He says he couldn't handle that. But back in the day, he and Vanna White would go drink during tapings.
Well, I think back in the day, things were a little bit different.
Yeah.
Things have changed so dramatically when it comes to alcohol and the day and whatnot. But, you know, a lot of people out there still, I guess, go to lunch and they order a cocktail or they order a drink, and I'm wondering just how many people do it. I couldn't do it. I just ruined my whole day.
Yeah, I mean, you just you have to be careful. You want to just save that for the weekend knowing you have to go back to work. But a lot of folks in the restaurant business, I'm sure, they see folks coming in and out and just sitting down and having a cocktail or 2 or 3 or 4, or in Pat's case, 6 margaritas.
You know, I've been told that if you had a drink before you did live TV, that you'd probably be a little looser.
Really?
Yeah, but I promise you, I don't drink. So I'm around before here. I'm not drinking.
Some, what was he pouring?
He's got some tequila over there.
Over there in the kitchen.
Yeah, just a little. Eric says just a little bit. Whole fifth.
To the side. So those are our 3 hot topics.
Military budget cuts. Things that you hate.
Things that you hate. A life coach, would you try things that you hate? And then also drinking on the job or on your lunch break, or have you seen folks out? And what are your thoughts on that? Let us know. You can join our conversation on our Facebook page, or you can follow us on Twitter at HR_show.
Hey, let's bring in meteorologist Jeremy Wheeler. Now, this next bit has a little bit of info and has something to do with Jeremy.
That's right. A week from today, the 4 of us will be battling it out in the kitchen. Yeah, we did this last year. We're going to team up 2 and 2, and each team will get to cook a big game party food right here in the kitchen, and the audience will be the taste testers.
That's right. The audience is going to be the taste testers. So each of our cooking teams will be representing one of the teams playing for the championship. Of course, the audience is going to be filled with regular Hampton Roadshow viewers who happen to be major football fans. They're going to pick the winner of our challenge, predict the winner of the big game. So it's up to the audience to decide whose
test our skill
that they like, and then in turn.
Do I finally get to make the eggy smeggy for you guys?
It depends on who you're teamed up with.
All right.
My specialty. I'm not so sure it's a Super Bowl or a big game food.
We'll try it out. I don't know what I'm making yet, but last year was competitive. I mean, real competitive.
Well, I wasn't here last year,
this
Jeremy.
Is the game.
Maybe it'll be men against women, mixed doubles.
Yeah, we might do that. I don't know.
I've already got my menu
You're going
is
down.
done.
You're going down.
My menu is done.
All right, it's going to be a lot of fun next Friday. Tune in all next week for the big game week on the Hampton Roads Show. We'll be bringing you stories of people living right here in Hampton Roads. We have ties to the NFL championship game, plus ideas to help you get ready for those viewing parties.
And of course, this is all leading up to the big game, Super Bowl 46, the New York Giants versus the New England Patriots, live from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis next Sunday at 6 p.m. Pre-game show begins at 1 p.m. right here on WAVY TV 10. I love that music. 10. And you know, Madonna's going to be performing halftime.
Who?
Madonna.
I've heard of her.
That's going to be interesting.
Sorry.
Or you called her like skeletal arms or something.
No, she had praying mantis arms. She's an insect.
That's what it was. That's what it was. So.
All right, can't wait. I just want to see you guys' reaction.
In the meantime.
All right, in the meantime, yes, the weather. Let's talk about that. Yeah, a little bit serious. We had some pretty strong storms early. We even had some severe weather out there. That's going to last a little bit longer, the storms, and then we're going to wrap it up. And then the afternoon, the rest of the afternoon, we're talking about drying conditions and temperatures coming down. High temperature, 71 degrees. That's what's going on. It may even go up a little bit. Actually, some places a little bit warmer than that. And then towards the afternoon, we're going to drop temperatures. So by the time you drive home, temperatures will pull back to 60. We'll dry things out. Then tonight, lows in the upper 30s. Tomorrow, highs in the upper 50s. It's going to be a nice day for Saturday. We are going to be cooler, but it's not going to be that much cooler. And then 50 coming in for Sunday. That'll be the big cool down, as well as Monday. So got some interesting weather out there. Yeah, had some rough weather earlier and still a few of those storms around, so hopefully they push out soon if they haven't already. All right, let's take a look at the pop quiz for today. And so this one, it is local, so keep that in mind, but the first clue is a county in England. Second largest Virginia city by population, either or, neither blank, and what some people call their parents. So put those clues together, a little tougher.
It.
And okay, all right, very good. Good luck. HamptonRoadsShow.com. Submit your answer.
You finally got one?
You know what, Chris?
You know what, Chris?
You know what, Chris?
Who
How
told
about
you?
you head to the kitchen?
All right, I'm getting kicked out of here. Why don't you let them know what they can win?
Peace out. Well, today's winner, if you know it, today's winner is going to receive 4 tickets to Fox 43 night at the Admirals, folks. That is tonight at 7:30 at Norfolk Scope. So come on out and meet our face of Fox 43, Tracy Page. Plus, the first 2,000 fans get an Admirals player, the bobblehead. Chris, help me out with this one. It's
Olaf Kolzig.
Ole the goalie?
Ole the goalie.
Ole the goalie. So.
Ole the goalie. It's a bobblehead. You need your own bobblehead over there.
All right, I'm working on it.
We're in the kitchen with Eric Dornberger, executive chef at Atlantic Shores Retirement Community in Virginia Beach. All next week is Big Game Week on the Hampton Road Show, but Eric is getting a jump on the menu, planning for those big football viewing parties. Eric, what are you going to cook for us this morning?
We're doing a new twist on the mozzarella stick. We're going to wrap that in phyllo dough, and we'll bake those. And I'm going to do a very hot and spicy chicken taquito.
Very hot and spicy?
Yes, sir.
We like it like that.
Yes, we do.
For the big game. And we got a little something special coming up, too, with the residents from Atlantic Shores. So we'll get started in just a few minutes.
All right, well, the nation's newest national monument has captivating old charm. Coming up, WAVY's Tom Shad takes us on a visual tour of Fort Monroe as we go through the lens. And when we come back, a new feature on the Hampton Road Show, Wisdom for the Ages. Some of our friends from Atlantic Shores Retirement Community share what they've learned over the years on making and keeping those resolutions.
I have one resolution that I make every year, and I always stick to it. And that is to just enjoy life the best I can as it comes along.
Well, you know, in our house, I'm about the same way. I don't make resolutions, but she does a great job making them for me.
Well, don't make foolish ones. Make ones that you think you can accomplish.
I'm one of those, I really try, and sometimes I do feel bad if I don't do it.
You do better than I do. Hope springs eternal. We keep trying.
My 90th birthday is coming up in July. That's 6 months away. And I intend, seriously, to lose about, well, from 15 to 20 pounds.
And so I've made a resolution for myself to lose weight and for my husband. So I've got to do both of them because he won't make the resolution himself.
Bad habit is a bad habit, and they're very hard to break.
I think probably at the end of the month they break them. Well, if it's chocolate or wine or something that they really like, I'd give them probably, 24 hours, 48.
We are in the kitchen this morning with Chef Eric Dornberger from Atlantic Shores Retirement Community in Virginia Beach. And right there were just a few of the wonderful and beautiful residents from Atlantic Shores, Eric. And they gave us their take on their, inspiration for making resolutions. And you hear it all the time, don't you? And you got to help them out with it.
Everybody has resolutions. I feel bad about the watching your weight resolutions at Atlantic Shores. We have a casual bistro. We have 2 fine dining restaurants. We have a bakery, bake shop, chef.
So you make it really, the food is there. You make it difficult for them, but you'll work with them, won't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to, commit, be strong and commit to your resolution.
And they keep you on your toes, don't they?
Absolutely. I get a lot of feedback from the residents at Atlantic Shores. It's fantastic.
Wonderful place. All right, so let's get to what you're making this morning. Right. Big game stuff. Big game stuff.
Big game stuff. A little twist on a mozzarella stick. Today we're going to wrap the mozzarella in phyllo dough. Phyllo dough is a little temperamental. You expose it to air for too long and it will
shrink,
get crispy on you quick, and then you can't use it. So the best thing to do is to rub it with some butter.
This is the dough right here, right?
This is the dough right here.
That's as thin as paper.
It's very thin, tough to make. There it is, temperamental right there.
Already
so we do a
out.
couple of layers.
Right.
Lay that down. What I like to do also is put a little layer of breadcrumbs in between them just to give it a little extra crunch, and there's some fresh herbs in my breadcrumbs. When you're working with this dough, you want to cover it as quickly as possible, work on the ends.
Right.
And, right here.
Okay, sprinkle a little breadcrumbs. Let's see, you've got it seasoned.
Yeah.
And then you're going to top it off with another
of dough. And again, we'll butter this down.
Working with phyllo dough really looks tough, man.
It is. It's a commitment.
Right.
You get yourself in. You open up that package of phyllo and you uncover it, and
you got to jump right in, and you got to go.
Between uses, you can keep it covered with a damp cloth, and that will help.
Okay, so the phyllo dough is ready.
Phyllo dough is ready. I have some mozzarella cheese here. I'm just gonna lay those down. Cut the dough. And then the trick is to roll it up and seal in the sides. Keep that cheese inside of the dough.
And I guess you're going to bake this, right?
And then we're going to bake that, right?
And you bake it to a golden brown?
I'm talking 450, 475, high heat, 3 to 5 minutes. You just want to, because the cheese will melt quick.
Right. So just enough to get the cheese melted.
Get the cheese melted and crisp up this dough. I mean, the sheets are so thin that they'll cook very, very fast.
Okay, we got about a minute left.
All right.
Any time for
we'll
spicy
do
taquito?
No, we'll do the pesto. I'm making a basil pesto for a dipping sauce for the mozzarella, and we put a whole bunch of fresh basil in a food processor, some pine nuts, which add a nice flavor, plenty of Parmesan cheese, and some salt and pepper. Let's not forget about one of my favorites, some chopped garlic.
Some garlic.
Yeah. Add a little oil to this, some good olive oil.
You got to have something liquid based in there, right?
Oh yeah. I'll put a little in it now. Get it chopped up. We'll add a little bit more to it. The great thing about making basil pesto is you can make it ahead of the time, and you can make it and freeze it also, and it'll keep quite well. You just have to coat a little olive oil, put it in a container, and put some olive oil on top of it, and then just throw it into the freezer, and it's good for 3 months or so.
So is that it for the dipping sauce?
That's it for the dipping sauce. We'll plate it up towards the end, and there it is, nice bright green.
Okay. So the mozzarella sticks are done and wrapped. You're going to throw them in the oven. Also, the dipping sauce is done.
Yes, sir.
When we come back in a few minutes, we're going to go spicy taquitos.
We're going spicy taquitos. Yes,
okay,
sir.
This is perfect for the big game.
Yeah, it's a great appetizer. Fun to make, a little time consuming, but we're going to take care of it.
Okay, all right.
Next
Eric Dornberger, great job. We'll get started on the other stuff in just a few minutes.
Thanks.
All right, hey everyone, back Great. Hey, in the Buzz Center. Sorry about that, folks. Talking about our hot topics this morning. The first one we're talking about gravitating toward things that you hate. So there's this life coach. Her name is Lori Gerber, and she says that instead of avoiding things that you don't like or hate, try doing them, and in turn you may find out that you love them. For her, she says things like carrots, exercise that required sweating, her brother, listening to her parents getting dressed up. Those were all the things that she hated. She tried them, and in turn, she found out she loved them. So we wanted to ask you, has that been applied to you? Let's go to Facebook. Let's see. Melanie Simons Odette. She says, yes, avocado and guacamole. That stuff is good. Yum. So I guess she didn't like avocado guacamole, but now she does. Monty Greer says, isn't that called marriage? So maybe people who hate or don't believe in marriage, they get married and love it. Louisa Coleman, she says, I think it challenges you to discover new things both in general and about yourself, as well as building character, as they say, by maybe getting over a fear of something that you only think you dislike but just need to try out first. Really, so can't hurt to try. Our other hot topic we're talking, for those that watch Wheel of Fortune, of course, the longtime host Pat Sajak and Vanna White admitted to going and taking breaks and drinking on the job. They'd have sometimes up to 6 margaritas. Chris is over there applauding that. So we just wanted to pose the question, have you known people to indulge on their lunch breaks, perhaps? Christy says, when taping several shows per day, for how many years? I drink a little too. Robbie Hickman says, if I were in Pat's shoes, I would have been drinking more than once, really. How many times over the course of how many years can one handle, I'd like to buy a vowel? And Lakeisha really quick says she knew a coworker that did many times, and if their boss knew, she wouldn't have a job anymore. So, and also we'll share more comments about the budget cuts from Defense Secretary Leon Panetta and how that could affect Hampton Roads. So, Chris, back to you.
All right, still ahead on the Hampton Roads Show. Please, thank you. Do you know how to mind your manners? In just a few minutes, we're talking with an expert on manners, Anna Post from the Emily Post Institute, about modern manners and how you can take polite to a new level. But first, WAVY's Tom Shad takes us to Hampton Roads Landmark and the nation's newest national monument. Stick around as we go through the lens at Fort Monroe. And don't forget our pop quiz. You can win 4 tickets to Fox 43 Night at the Admirals. That's tonight at 7:30 at Norfolk Scope. Just log on to HamptonRoadsShow.com and click on the pop quiz button on the top right-hand corner of the screen. We're coming right back.
Welcome back, everyone. It was the last true fort still active as an Army post when it was decommissioned in the fall.
But the legacy of Fort Monroe runs deeper to the very essence of freedom. WAVY News anchor Tom Shad trying to capture that spirit through the lens.
The sun lights the sky of a new day, where American history emerges from the shadows. Shots of brilliant morning skies I thought would contrast with hard reality of a battle-weary place. Freedom is sometimes black and white, like a still photo of Fort Monroe. Thousands of former slaves who cast off their bondage and sought sanctuary here called this the Freedom Fort. They got a new beginning right here on this Army post in Hampton. Decommissioned in September, these barriers of crumbling stone and brick make up a monument to liberty. Even the 500-year-old oak trees weave a tangled road map through the sky, as complex and intricate as our nation's history. A still camera can capture something quite eerie, like the inside of this guardhouse that hasn't been used for more than 100 years. Wow. Before that, a president was held prisoner here, the president of the Confederacy, Jefferson Davis. Fort Monroe stayed in Union hands during the Civil War, so while Davis stayed here, President Abraham Lincoln held the firepower.
Kind of makes Fort Monroe a historic but spooky place.
I captured the 15-inch Lincoln gun shrouded by one of those old oaks, which brings us to our current president, who recently designated Fort Monroe a national monument. It's a move that assures that this old fort will never die or fade away from our history. It'll provide a unique look at our past, especially when you look at it through the lens.
Wow, they're so good.
You
I
know,
love them.
he does such a great job of combining still photography, video, writing, and history, and he brings it all together, and he does a great job with it.
Of course, you know, besides him being on the anchor desk every night on WAVY TV, every month Tom takes us on a trip through the lens, so make sure you look for that.
Well done, and you can find his past stories on our website, thehamptonroadshow.com. Tom Shad hit it out of the park once again.
Still ahead on the Hampton Road Show, it is Live Music Friday, and today we are very happy to have a local favorite, Kevin Kelly. He's going to get the weekend off to a rockin' start.
But first, Chef Eric Dornberger from Atlantic Shores Retirement Community in Virginia Beach is going to town in the kitchen making up some delicious snacks for the big game. We'll check in with him in just a minute. Don't go away.
See those recipes.
Back here on the Hampton Road Show with Chef Eric Dornberger from Atlantic Shores Retirement Community in Virginia Beach. He's fixing up some tasty snack ideas for the big game parties that you might want to get planned for next week. We did mozzarella sticks, and now, Eric, it's time for spicy taquitos.
Spicy taquitos, that's right. I have some boneless chicken thighs here. We're going to go ahead and put them in a pan and sear those off. This is all the filling. Get these taquitos going. I'll just put a couple in there. And we'll let those saute, and I'll just go ahead and cut up a julienne red onion. That'll be going in there.
Wow, you wasted no time with that onion.
As well as a red bell pepper. Put some red bell pepper in there. Take out the insides.
Time for a flip?
Those in yeah, sure, why not? Put those together. Julienne these red bell peppers up. Don't burn me. And I have a little jalapeno, which is the hot and spicy part of this dish.
Just a little, huh?
Just a little bit. Seeds and all. And also like to put a little potato into the taquito.
Man, this thing is a splatterer.
Can you push those off to the top side for me? That would be great.
Push them off to the top side? Okay.
And we'll go ahead and add all of this stuff.
You're going to add it all together in the same pan?
Right on in there.
Okay, while you add it in, talk about the big game next week. What do you guys got planned over at Atlantic Shores?
Oh, man. We have widescreen TVs all over the place. We'll be serving hors d'oeuvres, such like these.
Right.
Residents have a great time. We have a great demographic of people that have lived all over the United States, so there's a lot of controversy during the football season.
Lots of talk. I mean, a lot of them come down from the north, and so I know there's a lot of big fans rooting for the Patriots or the Giants. What are you hearing? What are you hearing?
Well, what I'm hearing a lot of is we're big supporters of Eli Manning, and we support Eli Manning because of his support for the I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Eric.
His support for the Guiding Eyes puppy program, which raises puppies for the seeing impaired.
Oh, good.
And Eli Manning's a sponsor of that, and we have a couple of puppies at Atlantic Shores that our residents are training to go into that program. So, me, I'm a Ravens fan. So maybe
man, sorry about that, Eric.
It was terrible.
Yeah, Billy Cunda. Enough said.
Enough said. Next year.
Okay.
Put a little garlic in there. And I have some fresh oregano. We'll put some fresh oregano in there.
Okay, got about 1 minute left. What's that, Eric? Pat Zajac would agree.
That's a Pat Zajac special, right? Woo! Tequila.
That came with no warning either.
Can I buy a vow?
Yeah, there's plenty of vows in tequila.
and I put some tomato juice in, and you basically are going to let this braise, and then you pull the chicken apart.
Right.
What I have are some corn tortillas. Got about a minute, right?
Yeah, well, a little under that now.
A little under that. So I'll just pull one together. This right here is the finished product. The chicken's all pulled apart. And then we basically will just fill a corn tortilla up. And you'll do this and drop it right into the warm oil. Going to cook it for 2-3 minutes on one side and do it on the other side, and then you serve them immediately.
Serve them immediately.
Serve them immediately.
Do you have any sauce to go over it, or just as is?
Have some guacamole. I'll go ahead and put that together because it'll probably take just a little longer than we have.
Okay, so the taquitos with a little bit of tequila, got a little bit of jalapeno in there, just enough spice to make it just so right for the residents at Atlantic Shores. Eric, great job. We're going to taste this in just a few minutes. Great job.
Thank you very much.
Smells delicious. All right, stay with us because straight ahead we have some updated ideas to help you mind your P's and your Q's.
Welcome back to the Hampton Road Show. We are in the Buzz Center, and we're talking about budget cuts for the military. Leon Panetta, the Defense Secretary, says in the next 10 years, they are going to get rid of like $460-some billion in military spending. And of course, this is a huge military area, and many of you are concerned because many of your livelihoods surround it. And here's some of the things that you're saying right now. Amanda Rapicon, I understand the need for cutbacks, but I hate that our soldiers and their families are the ones paying for it. I agree with cutting some pay from those politicians running our country into such deep debt. Mike B., I hate budgets for our military. Why don't they cut some of Congress? Most of them are already millionaires that make money hand over fist from lobbyists. Don't get me started. All right, Gail Sally, my husband is in the Army, so it affects us directly. We already struggle sometimes, well, most of the time, to live comfortably. I think they need to cut back on other spending and take care of the people that do their dirty work. And since he's in the Army, and you know that the military is moving towards forms of movement, like Air Force and Navy are the two branches of the military that won't be affected as much. Army could be in some trouble. We're also talking about things that you hate and gravitating towards it to maybe get rid of and eliminate that word hate. Here are some of the things you're saying. Karen Harrington, I think this might be true for some of my friends who for years said they didn't want children, yet now once they have them, they are totally in love. Antonio Jones, I wouldn't use the word hate, but I am constantly pushed towards things that scare me, and in the end, I find out that I had nothing to be frightened of. Okay. Hate is such a bad word. I'd love to get rid of that word. All right, also, we're talking about Pat Sajak and Vanna White doing their liquid lunch, drinking margaritas in between shows. Antonio Jones, yes, salespeople are always on their sales calls and business lunches, so the ones I have worked with are always indulging a sip here, a sip there, making their day just a little extra special, but usually falling asleep at the end. So thanks for chiming in. It is a Friday, so everybody have a great weekend, and thanks for chiming in.
Do you ever wonder what happened to good manners? Just how important are please, thank you, and you're welcome? Joining us now from New York City is Anna Post from the Emily Post Institute, and she is the great-great-granddaughter of Emily Post with more on modern manners. Anna, welcome to the Hampton Road Show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So it's the big question, do you or don't you confront someone whose manners are offensive, and if so, how do you go about not being mean to them?
You know, typically nobody likes the etiquette police, and you don't know who you'll get with a stranger, but when it comes to cold and especially flu season, there are a few things that you can do. You know, if you are stuck next to that guy who has clearly the flu and is coughing and sneezing everywhere, maybe you're stuck next to them on an airplane where you can't just find a new seat on the subway, you can always turn to that person and say, you know, I can see you're not feeling so hot, but would you mind covering your mouth while you cough? Thanks. You know, you want to keep that friendly rather than sounding disgusted. That is the way to influence somebody else.
How do you know if you think you're coming down with the flu, whether or not you should stay home or go out?
That's a fantastic question. You know, a lot of people get a little confused between cold and actually having the flu. There's a great acronym for this, FACTS, the word, F-A-C-T-S, fever, aches, chills, tiredness, and this one's really important, sudden onset. These are all symptoms that you may have the flu, and it's a good idea to call your doctor. Stay home away from other people. You can actually check out some information like this and more preventative tips at flufacts.com. There's a really great resource of information there.
And of course, the big question, Anna, tell us, how well-mannered are Americans?
You know, we're not as bad as all that, but since the NFID did this survey that showed that nearly 2/3 of us admit to being that guy and going out and about, we need to do a little bit better when it comes to flu season this year.
What are some of the manners that we just lack that you would like to see more people do or take note of?
The biggest one, and this can cover all different walks of life, is sort of a general lack of awareness of others and how our actions affect them, especially when we're with strangers. And I think that's why it is so annoying to see somebody, you know, out there coughing and sneezing, for example, and not, you know, covering up and using a tissue. So that one in this particular flu case really strikes home, but it goes across the board. We have to watch out how we affect those around us.
And this can probably, you can probably go on and on as far as manners are concerned. Do you have a book or a website that folks can get more information from if they're interested?
Yes, I am one of the authors of Emily Post's 18th edition of Classic Book of Etiquette, and you can check out flufacts.com to link to a Facebook page, FluFacts, to take some more etiquette quizzes there and learn some more useful tips, and download a mobile app, Fight the Flu. It has a great flu tracker.
All right, Anna Post, thank you so much for talking with us here on the Hampton Road Show. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay.
So nice of her.
Very good.
Please, Jeremy, would you reveal? I'm trying to use my manners here.
Yes.
I think I know
no elbows
it.
on the couch.
Next
Chair.
time.
There.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see what we got for the pop quiz, and I'll do it my best manners. So here we go. A county in England, second largest Virginia city by population, either or, neither blank, and what some people call their parents.
Norfolk?
That's right. That's 100% correct. You did a great job today. That's right. Some people call their parents folks.
Folks. Or the
neither
rents.
nor.
The rents. Parents. The rents.
I've never called them that.
Really?
I've never heard that
it's a new
either.
Thing. The rents.
It's not proper etiquette.
I know. Hopefully, we'll hear that one. Hey, today's winner will receive 4 tickets to Fox 43 night at the Admirals. That's going to be 7:30 tonight at Norfolk Scope, and the first 2,000 people will get the bobblehead, which Jeremy and I have been practicing our bobbleheads. Ole the goalie. So, on this note, we'll just send it to Chris at the wall.
All right, guys, enough of the bobblehead. It is Live Music Friday, and with us today is Kevin Kelly. Kevin, you're going to play 3 different things here: guitar, harmonica, and what, the banjo? No.
I tambourine with my foot.
Yeah, how difficult is it to play 3 different things at once?
It's not too difficult once my mind is usually elsewhere. If I think about it, then I could trip myself up, but I don't think too much.
We don't want to put any pressure on you. You've got a CD out. What's the name of that?
I have a CD out called Note to Self.
Note to Self. Don't mess up on the Hampton Road Show.
That's right. Yeah.
And also remind the people where you're playing.
I play all over the Hampton Roads area, so if you check my Facebook site, you can usually find me 5 nights a week playing around. I'll be at Snappers Saturday, tomorrow night. I'll be at Logan Ray's on Tuesday. I play at Amory's Seafood Restaurant on alternating Wednesdays. I do Jack Wynn's on Thursdays, and things just sort of vary. But I'm all around the area, so wherever you are, you can usually find me somewhere.
You definitely need to make a note to yourself. All right, what are you going to play for us?
I'm going to play a song that I wrote called The Ballad of Aaron Brown.
All right. Kevin Kelly, everybody.
My tragic tale, I wasn't long from Annandale. I just crossed the line. Was to end that fateful night. We just stopped in to have a bite. We'd lost track of time. I got up to wash my hands. The tide was split amongst my friends. I drive them in some. I said one last time. Headed out into the car. The wait staff didn't go so far to see the money that we'd left behind. Oh yeah. Goes around with 4 or 5 rounds, but the siren bullets killed the sound. Was the night to tell the can of time. Was the night that shot down Aaron Brown. Please remember me, loving me. Oh yeah. No, I couldn't stay here long. While in this world I sing my song, and now I've gone home. Those I left behind, they know I love my friends and family, so they're never alone. I'm singing in a cosmic key, time signature, eternity. I'm in tune with what goes on above. Seek and give forgiveness too, though it may be so hard to do. The greatest vow that never dies is love. Oh yeah. This right 4 or 5 rounds. Summer night when it's raining down. Was the night that they moved into town. Was the night they shot down Aaron Brown. Please remember me, loving me. 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 Oh yeah.
Delicious.
This is football finger food.
Are you kidding me?
With Eric Dornberger.
You know, we're having this challenge next week as we're getting ready for the big game. Of course.
I want you on my team.
So, you know.
Sit in the audience.
Yeah,
no,
I
you
know.
don't.
I mean, this is
no,
a great
you don't,
example.
Eric. Not if I'm making it.
This is stuff that folks can make at home, but the phyllo dough, the mozzarella wrapped in the phyllo dough, do you like it? That is good.
Yeah, it's delicious. What else you got planned for next week for the residents?
Oh man, we will, again, with the widescreen TVs everywhere, we definitely have bar specials, and
all right.
And we throw down a lot of,
I'm sure there's a lot of trash talking around there too for the big game. Next week, a big game week here on the Hampton Road Show all week long. We got lots of things planned for you. And we're going to talk to Gerard Mayo's parents. He plays linebacker for the Patriots.
And also want to thank everyone out there. I put out on Facebook, I was trying to find the biggest Giants and Patriots fan in Hampton Roads. Want to thank everyone who emailed in, but I found 2 guys, and where they're going to go head to head, and we're going to see why they think the Giants should win or the Patriots should win. Also want to thank Tom Shad for his Through the Lens, a look at Fort Monroe, and Chef Eric Dornberger from Atlantic Shores. Have all these recipes and information on our website. This is awesome. I want to eat this so bad, but I'm waiting because I don't want to talk.
Because you learned about your manners,
because
right?
I have manners.
That's
yes,
right. You have
and I
manners.
Want to be polite.
And you know, at lunch is later on today. We're going to be really careful. We're not going to take the Pat Sajak and Vanna White mode of lunch. We're not going to do that. We don't do that. We don't wait for the big game.
I'll take my tequila with me.
Yeah, you need to take that with you.
Yeah, take that with you. Awesome.
All right, that's it for this Friday.
Yeah, great Friday show. Want to thank everyone for being with us. Of course, next week, tune in. We're going to get ready for the big game week. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. So, in the meantime, we're going to leave you with more great live music from our guest, Kevin Kelly. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Go get him, Kevin.
Well, I spent all my years treasure on cold beers, but I don't regret the blood and sweat I spent. It appears you're hurting, but I will make it through, and the day I'll be renewed. Don't worry, last these too shall pass. It's just the Irish flu. Walk home was industry. I dove head first into the street. And I sat aside the glass and beer in my cheeky pick, and I sang 3 songs for you. Though my words were misconstrued. No worries, sweet, you too should be at your raging Irish food. chased by Jack with Natty Bo, whack for my daddy-o. Jaeger bomb says something wrong, that's loud. When Mexico have mercy, there's one thing left to do. Summer's hot and so are you. Don't worry about tomorrow's drought, it's just the Irish flu. Hey! These two shepherds